o'clock. I will call the Public Works meeting to order. Start out with, John's making it, he's pulling in the door. Okay. Start out with roll call. Alder Rust. Present. Alder Borse. Here. Alder Bellinger. Here. Alder Manzer. Here. And Alder Decker is here. We have everyone here, so we will start out with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alrighty, we'll just do a quick introduction of just the alders here. I don't think we'll do everybody in attendance. As people need to come forward, they can introduce themselves. I'm Alderperson Dean Decker from the 6th District. I'm the chair of the committee, and I will move it down.
Alder Zach Russ, District 8, Vice Chair.
Alder Susie Borse, District 5.
Alderman John Bellinger, District 2.
Alderman Ryan Menzer, District 1.
Alrighty, we'll start out with the item number 5, approval of minutes from the April 5th, 2025 Public Works meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Any discussion on those minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye. Those are approved. We'll start out with item number 6, tree appeal, 2111 Kansas Avenue. Tim, are you the one taking care of these, I guess, or you just
Okay, I'm Tim, City Forester. It's my job to assign planting sites for street trees. I look at the different utilities and whatnot that's around where trees could interfere, sidewalk distances between street and sidewalk, fire hydrants, street lights, driveways, underground. We have the water laterals, the sewer laterals, and things like that. And depending on the space, I assign a tree or I don't assign a tree. And when I do assign a tree, I'll pick a species that's suitable. You know, if it's a small space, I'd pick a small tree. If it's a large space, I'd pick a large tree. So that goes for all of these appeals that we're going to talk about, but starting with the Kansas Avenue. This one, if you look on the memo, there's quite a big space here, 15 feet from the fire hydrant, 15 feet from the driveway, and 20 feet from the sewer lateral. So my guidelines are to stay at least 10 feet away from all of those. So this is exceeding that. The property owner did not want a tree. Their reasons were they didn't want their house shaded. They didn't want their pipes or their street or their curb damaged, and they didn't want to clean up more leaves, and they didn't want their view blocked when they backed out of their car out of their driveway. So the tree I propose planting here is a Robin Hill serviceberry, which is 20 feet tall, 12 feet wide. It's one of the smallest trees we plant. Like it matures at that size. Right now it's no taller than me. And yes, it is on the north side of the south side of the house, but it's not going to grow tall enough to shade that house. It's not a very big tree. It's far enough away from the pipes and the curbs and the sidewalks. Yes, you see raised sidewalks and curbs throughout the city, and that's what happens when you plant large trees in small spaces. And really what I've been trying to do since my time here is plant the right tree in the right space, meaning a small tree like a serviceberry in a space where there's only 5.5 feet width of a parkway. So I don't see it very likely at all that there's going to be an issue with raising the sidewalk or the curb. As far as more leaves goes, it's a small tree. Trees do offer a lot of benefits to the city. There is a small burden on cleaning up those leaves every year, but I think it's more than easy to say that's overcome with the benefits. And as far as blocking the driveway, my opinion would be that one small tree 15 feet away from the driveway is not going to be a hindrance or a significant hindrance for visual as far as safety backing out of the driveway.
Okay. Thank you, Tim. I guess is the person appealing is Roxy Kemford here? Is someone here from there, or are we just doing it on the letter? Okay, I will say that also we, I think it was about 2 or 3 years ago, we as a council have made the commitment that we will take care of, I believe, up to, is it 2 or 3 sections of sidewalk, or three of the plots of sidewalk, or the sections of sidewalk, if they are damaged by our tree. So those are covered for that part of it. So we're a tree city, and that's one of our commitments, to be a tree city. And I think I know not everybody wants a tree in front of their house, but I think it's part of our identity, and it's part of our commitment to trees. Open it up to any questions, Alder Bellinger.
Thank you, Chair. I would just like to clarify, or if you could, or somebody could clarify, I was not aware of it. So any tree that the city has, we're taking up to 3 sections of concrete if there's damage, because around our neighborhood, I mean, there's tons of sidewalk that qualifies for that then. So can we just submit that then, and they'll take care of it? How does that work?
Go ahead, Kevin.
Kevin Jump, city engineer. Yeah, you just contact our office and we'll add it to the list, and as part of the annual sidewalk program, we'll address those.
So they don't take
issues.
any priority. Then. I mean, so the annual sidewalk, I mean, that could be 7 years again by the time it gets back to.
It's pretty much the order that complaints are received. Is that normally, we get through most of them within 1 year.
Okay, so it's not sections of town that are being done with the sidewalk program.
Correct. If there's extra funds, then we'll start looking at sections.
Okay.
But in general, we just work on the complaints.
Okay. Well, thank you. That's good to know. I wasn't aware of that.
Any other questions? Anyone's looking for someone to make a motion if they would like to? Oh, go.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Tim, could I ask a question of you about the actual process? And this relates to, I think, the appeals in general. But how are people notified? What is the appeals process? And is that appeals process clear to citizens if they do have a concern about the tree planting?
How are they notified? I think that was your first question.
Yes.
So postcard, I send a postcard to the site, the property site, letting them know that a tree is planned to be planted here soon, and there's a white painted line on the curb is where I propose to plant the tree. Now that line also serves purpose for a digger's hotline to mark like the gas and the utilities that I'm not aware of. Mm-hmm. So sometimes we do have to shift that slightly for some of those utilities, but the postcard identifies where we propose to plant the tree. The postcard does have our, contact our website, for questions. Here's the website. It doesn't have a direct phone number to reach me, but they can find that on the website. It does not mention the appeal on it. In the past, before we had the postcards, years ago we had a letter, and if it said appeal, we would get like almost everybody appealing. So it got very burdensome to plant trees because not many people wanted them. So I guess if people don't want them enough, they'll call.
Is the appeals process available on the website? The process for the appeal, is that information available to citizens on the website?
It's available, and if you look up the municipal code, the ordinance, it's not real clear on the website, I don't think, besides my contact information.
Alder Boris, a lot of constituents will email you, and then you reach out to Tim usually. I know last year we went back and forth and we figured out without having to go to an appeal process for the trees. So I would say that if they have an issue, you're probably going to be their first point of contact, and then I would reach out to Tim after that, and then just know that if they really do want to appeal it, they have to come to DPW and have a written form basically
So
saying
they do have to deliver a
Yes.
written
Yes.
request for appeal.
Yes.
There's no way to submit that online or to email?
I don't believe there is currently. Yeah, no, there isn't currently. That might be something we can work on in the future, but I would say currently they would have, they have more skin in the game if they have to come versus just submitting something online, because everybody submits something online and
Sure.
just doesn't think about it again. Where like, usually the person who appeals a tree, they'll come to this committee meeting, while granted the person for this one specific didn't come. They now know that they have to come to this as well. Because you can just read that on the form you submit online, if we had one, and they would just be like, maybe I'll show up to it, maybe I won't.
Yeah, just from an accessibility perspective, I think that's my concern. In the appeals that were submitted, it seemed like at least some people were potentially elderly citizens, and so it might be more challenging for them, which is really what's prompting my questions.
Sure.
And then they could attend this meeting remotely
Yes.
as well, correct?
Yeah.
Yep, okay, thank you.
Yeah, I would say that we've been, since I've been on this committee, I think we've maybe had three or four, and over the time of it. We're doing more planting. That's probably why we're getting, we're trying to catch up. We had quite a few trees that have gone down over the years with the ash borer, problem where they're being down. So, Tim has been doing a great job of, catching up on that, but it's, we've got a lot of catching up to do in our city for trees. So you're going to get more people probably, appealing now. We did have one that was appealed after it was planted, which was kind of a little bit of a problem with that one, but we eventually got that one straightened out also. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all their mentor.
Thank you, Chair. I just have a quick question, just to clarify, because I actually don't live in an area in the city that has a sidewalk. So I just want to double check. I just want to confirm that the grass, that land where the trees are proposed to be planted, is in fact owned by the city but maintained by the property owner. So it's not the property owner's property like their lot where the house or the dwelling is.
Technically, the homeowner owns to the center of the street.
Oh, so it's the city's right of way in that area, correct? That's if I'm Kevin, that's what I was always informed.
In most cases, the right-of-way is 6 inches to a foot behind the sidewalk. So that would be the property line right away to the individual homeowners. There are some instances where there is ownership out to the center line of the road, and the right-of-way is there by an easement.
Okay, so these properties, these areas are owned by the city technically?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Dean.
Go ahead.
I would agree with Alder Decker. We did make 2 years ago, we made a commitment saying that we want to be a tree city. And I think it does say a lot when a person does show up to their appeal for a tree. And for me personally, since this individual did not come, I move to decline the appeal.
I'll second.
Motion's made and seconded. Any other discussion on this?
Oh, I apologize. May I rescind what I just said?
Your second? Sure.
Yeah, may I rescind my second?
Okay.
I apologize. I misunderstood what Elder Russ said.
Second?
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded. Any other discussion on it? All those in favor of rescinding?
Aye.
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 Sorry, Alder Decker, what are you asking for?
Motion to
I'm rescinding, or not, I don't know, decline. I said decline.
Declining.
Yeah, decline.
Motion to decline.
Clarify.
Motion to decline. And aye or nay? I didn't hear you.
Oh, well, I was waiting for you to say all opposed, and I was going to say nay.
Oh, okay. All opposed?
Nay.
Okay. Chair votes aye. That is approved. 4 to 1. Okay. Let's move on to number 8. Tree appeal number 3101 South 20th Street. Patrick and Brenda Myron. Is someone here to speak on that at all? Usually like this. Come on up if you would like.
Which one are we doing?
This is South 20th Street.
Which one?
3101.
Okay.
Correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
We skipped one.
Oh,
Which one are we on?
we're on the second one. We are on
You skipped
number 8. I'm sorry.
You skipped 7.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I skipped. We were actually 30. Patrick Penter is the one we were like. Okay, that's him. I'm sorry. I skipped over yours. I'm very sorry.
There's one reason I don't want a tree is I've had 4 back surgeries and I park there all the time and I watch my 2-year-old granddaughter putting her in and out of that car seat all the time. I don't need an obstruction. My whole left foot is totally numb, so I have no feeling. The neighbor told me that there was a tree there years ago, and I think that's why the curb is cracked there. I couldn't tell you if there was a tree there or not, years ago, but, as far as mowing the lawn, I pay someone to I get 4 applications a year. I pay for it all. I don't need anything to go around, to mow the lawn and stuff. I drove around the city. There's a lot of vacant spots for our trees. There really is. And I realize we're a tree city, but I don't need it. I just feel I'm against it. I look at, I realize he said, there's smaller trees now. I look at the curbs and I look at the roads. They're terrible. The sidewalks, just like he was saying, they're lifted all over the place. And then to see what they did the last year, instead of cutting all the roots out and making the sidewalk a legit, whatever it is, 60 inches wide or whatever, they went around the roots. Then they cut the tree down. Well, now they're going to have to grind that stump out. So are they going to straighten the concrete again? We just wasted all that money on 3 blocks of concrete.
Not quite sure. I don't think I've ever. Kevin, do we go around? I don't think I've ever seen any of them. We do go around in some cases. It's pretty rare, though. Actually, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, last year was more than a few cases, or where I walk.
Well, a lot of the trees now are newer, but it's. I guess. Tim, you have anything to add, or?
I can answer a couple of those.
Sure. Okay.
As far as the rounding of around the trees.
Yes.
I think, yes, if a tree needs to be removed with that, it makes a great site to put a new tree because it's already a little bigger of a space. Mm-hmm. But as far as this site goes, there's space. There is a lot of spaces in the city, but what you don't see is the underground utilities. Some of those vacancies aren't they're too close to the sewer line or the water line, so they're not actually a good spot or an available spot. In this case, there was enough space. That's why I designated it for a tree, 11 feet away from the driveway and from the sewer lateral, and again, a small tree, a scarlet fire dogwood. If you look at the memo, it's kind of a cool looking tree with the way it grows, but I think that's all I have to add.
Okay. Questions?
I make a motion to approve the appeal.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any comments on it? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye. That is approved. Deal is approved. So, okay. Next one up is now Mr. Myron. Okay.
One reason I don't want a tree is because my wife's allergic to pollen. She hardly goes outside. And if I get another tree, I have no trees in my lawn except one that I gotta get cut down this year. After that, I thought, oh, there's gonna be no trees in my yard. My wife can go out more. She ain't gonna be able to because these guys are gonna plant a tree there. And I've maintained this lawn for 20 years, which I read in the thing, if you maintain a lawn for 20 years, it's legally your property. And if you guys are gonna plant a tree, are you guys gonna cut my grass and take my leaves in that area?
So, okay.
That's all we have.
All righty. Tim, got any comments on this one at all, or?
This one, again, plenty of room for a tree, in my opinion. 18 feet away from the driveway, 10 feet away from the sewer lateral. I selected the scarlet fire dogwood. I did read about the allergy concern, and there are alternative tree species if there's a known allergy to dogwood. We do have about 6 other species that could be planted that are available this year. Again, they're all small trees, so I think there could be one that would work, but I just, I looked at this site, thought it was appropriate, or deemed appropriate within my needed qualifications, and that's where it is.
Make a motion to approve the appeal. Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Any other discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Chair votes nay also. But it passes 3-2. Okay, let's see, then we're on to number 9. Carrie Strausberg, Diane Dean.
My mother would have been here, but she had a stroke 2 weeks ago, so she is not available to come. This neighborhood is from the 1960s, and all the trees that were planted in that neighborhood have outgrown their sidewalks, and if I have pictures on my phone if you'd like to see, our sidewalks are trashed in this neighborhood. And if the city wants to plant a tree, that's fine. My mother's 88 years old. She's not going to water it, and she probably will not be raking leaves or maintaining it. As far as elderly people doing the appeals, a lot of them do not have computers, and it's inconvenient for them to come and appeal. The sidewalks are so bad that my mom's neighbor's 3 years old, walks across the street and rides his bike across the street because there's fewer uneven sidewalks on that side. 2 of the neighbors, my mother and her next door neighbor, both have walkers, and I can't imagine them trying to walk down the street anymore with the sidewalks as heaved as they are. They put little blacktop patches in. They didn't put ramps up to them. They just patched so the little edge wouldn't be caught. As far as that goes, I don't believe that is a great fix for this neighborhood, and I am going to make sure all the neighbors know to appeal to have our sidewalks fixed. I don't know how many trees my mother's getting. There's 2 marks on the sidewalks. One is right in front of her front window, and there is a water main, and I have a picture. The water main is right in front of that line, so I would double check that one. Our neighbor fell. She's currently in the hospital with infections. The neighborhood's really bad, and all I can say is it's an older neighborhood, and people don't like to walk because the sidewalks are so bad due to the trees. And I know down the street, they just cut one off, and it's been there for a while like that. And I wish they'd come back and literally fix that one because it's bad. The little black top, even pulling a wagon over the sidewalks with a 3-year-old, it's difficult because the sidewalks are awful. I also ride my bike in this city, and even the streets are horrible. I wish they'd spend the money fixing and repairing before they plant more trees. And I would like to donate my mom's 2 trees to a city park and let the city employees take care of them. Thank you.
Tim.
Okay, this one, there was 2 trees planted here in the private property. They were moved within the last couple of years. On the street view, you can see the old stumps. So that's why there wasn't a street tree there, because there was existing trees, but those have been cut down. The white line, again, I do the best job I can with the white line using the maps I have with the underground utilities. So when we get the digger's pot line out there to mark where the water and the gas and things are, then we're able to shift things around depending on, where the map shows them, which is usually pretty accurate. But anyway, that was just following up on what her concern was. The tree species here are the serviceberry again. It's a very small tree, one of the smallest we plant. Like, it would be very, very low chance of it ever lifting a sidewalk or a curb. But I definitely agree that that neighborhood has a lot of old linden trees that have really done a lot of damage to the sidewalks.
So is this one for 2 trees, or is it just that the marking was because of the original? Because this one change your position because of the water line.
This one was proposed for 2 trees, and still is proposed for 2.
Okay.
Now, if we get there and the water line is there's no room for it, then we could eliminate one. I'm not opposed to that, but that hasn't been looked at since the appeal.
I guess I would agree with, I would expect someone to have 1 tree, but I guess 2 trees is kind of excessive in my opinion. That's for one property owner. That's just my thoughts on that. I don't know how anybody else feels about it. Go ahead. Susie.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First of all, very sorry to hear about your mother's stroke. I think from all of us. Tim, how many trees are being planted, or how many postcards were sent out for trees that are being planted?
Well, we planted about 350 trees this spring, and they've all been planted except for the peels. Those, we're holding on to those.
Okay. So about 1% of these have been appealed formally.
Yes, some properties got more than 1 tree, so I think that's probably I would say less than 1%.
Okay. And then in the overhead view, there are 2 trees in the front yard on either side of the sidewalk. Are those trees existing currently, or are those the trees that you were saying came down?
Those are the ones that are gone. If you look at the street view image, you can see there's like a 2-foot stump left of each of them.
Okay.
And that street view image is from last fall, and the overhead image is from 2022. So that's where the difference is.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
Alderman Menzer?
Thank you, Chair. I want to just thank Mr. Bull for your hard work and your due diligence in looking at different species and understanding, those older, bigger trees, they do push up the sidewalks, and even looking into the allergy issue for the other one. So I just want to thank you for doing your due diligence with that. Thank you.
Okay. I move for only 1 tree to be planted on that property.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Any other discussion on it? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Nay.
Any opposed?
Nay.
One opposed. All right. Okay. We will move on to number 10. Resolution allowing Lakeshore Regional Child Advocacy Center to bring certified therapy dogs into their facility within the Uptown Social Building.
Hi, Liz Majerus with the Legal Department. This request is on behalf of Lakeshore Child Advocacy Center. They would like to supplement their therapy program by offering certified therapy dogs to those individuals that they serve. We do not have a city policy generally governing dogs within the Uptown Social Building. So this resolution is written to expressly allow them within Lakeshore CAC's rented area, and then to allow those certified therapy dogs within other areas of Uptown Social upon the director's written consent. So if there's an opportunity to provide exposure to these therapy dogs for the Uptown Social clients as well, then Director Rendell Araujo is able to do that.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Any other discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye. That is approved. Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to number 11. Direct resolution number 8-2526, a resolution authorizing the appropriate city officials to enter into a contract with Mashuda Contractors for the Cartman Property Phase Bid Package 1 construction. Kevin.
So this is the first construction contract for developing the Gartman property. For those of you that are not familiar, that's a large property on the south side of town. Going to hopefully in the near future have a nice subdivision in there. But this is the first phase of moving dirt to get the site ready for utilities later this fall. And it's only the portion of the site highlighted in the memo, call it the north half, north 1/3 of the site. And then it moves some of the dirt from the Woodson Sports Complex over to this site, knocks down that hill at the soccer fields, and gives them a nice flat fields in the future.
Okay. I guess my question is about this. This is a start, right?
Yes.
just a start on it. Okay. Questions, concerns?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye. That is approved. Thank you, Kevin. Number 12, direct referral resolution number 9-2526, a resolution authorizing the appropriate city officials to enter into contract with Battine Peterson Construction Incorporated for the Taylor Drive Wilgus Avenue reconstruction.
So this is a project that was identified in the capital plan. The traffic signals out there are functioning, but if there's significant repairs that need to occur, we don't have buried conduits that are accessible to pull new wire. And the only way to get the new wire in, or the easy way to get it, is dig it up, clean up the intersection. So this contract will install new traffic signals and fix all the concrete and the pavement within that intersection.
Okay. Now, this has actually been on the radar for a couple of years now, isn't it? It's been kind of, this has been planned through.
Yep.
Okay.
Does the contractor meet RBO requirements?
RBO.
Responsible bidder ordinance?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Questions?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye. That is approved. Okay. Number 13 is direct referral resolution number 10-2526, a resolution authorizing the appropriate city officials to enter into contract with Northeast Asphalt Incorporated for the 2025 street improvement milling various streets. Joel, is that you? I guess, okay.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think this one's mine. So staff is looking for approval for a contract with Northeast Asphalt for its annual milling services for our asphalt overlay projects. These projects are projects separate from the engineering department's CIP projects. They're done through our operations budget. Every year we identify a handful of projects that need resurfacing for a variety of different needs. So staff is looking for an approved contract with Northeast Asphalt in the amount of $106,877.50. They were low bid. We had 2 bids on this project. The other bidder was Battine Peterson that came in at $118,172.50.
So this one is this is for they mill it, and this is what then your guys come through and put the resurface in? Is that what the
correct? Okay. The only reason we need a service contract is because we do not own a asphalt milling machine.
Okay.
So they'll mill it and then we'll come through and pave it.
Pave it. Yep. Okay, great. Thanks.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye. That's approved. Alrighty, next meeting date, tentatively May 27th, pending pressing matters, depending on what happens. If there's nothing that's real pressing that can go on till the next Monday, we will go to the next Monday, but if it's something that needs to be done, then we will have a meeting on that Tuesday after Memorial Day. Looking for a motion to adjourn then.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you very much.
So we are having a meeting on the 27th, correct? two committee meetings a month.
Well, typically it will be, but because of this, it's like, the schedule's all goofy because of the
Memorial Day.
because of the elections and everything, you know, and, all that, so. We're coming to plan. Next month, we'll get back on regular track, most likely.
I like the one.
Public Works, there's usually always something. It's gotta be, yeah. So.
Is there finance now, or what's next?
Yeah.
Did you want to stay for that?
No. No, that's not till 6.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
You wanna head over to the
Sure.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else is open.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I know. That's the other thing. Well, my bar's open.
Okay.
But we can go somewhere otherwise.
Okay.
I have them all here.
Talk to Travis real quick.
It looks pretty basic.
Nobody at the park, there were people in the park. Nobody there.
Yeah.
No, this is why we. I know I'm sure but it makes sense.
It'd be nice, but the problem is.
Yeah, I mean, and I understand that.
Sidewalks are just terrible, because the streets are terrible. They really never should have been built. And it's just citywide that way.
Well, and that's why I said they're usually like, I've gotten maybe 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Or, and then we send it to Tim, and then Tim will usually contact